Part 1 of 3. 7 questions on types of load balancers. 15 seconds each. Pause if you want longer. What is the defining difference between an L4 and an L7 load balancer? How much of the request it's allowed to read? An L4 balancer sees addresses and ports and nothing else. It's moving packets, and it has no idea whether it's carrying HTTP or a database protocol. An L7 balancer terminates the connection and reads the actual request, so it knows the path, the host, the headers. Everything else that separates them falls out of that one difference. You need to route API asterisk to one service and images asterisk to another. Which layer? Layer 7. And this is the quickest test you can apply. A path lives inside the HTTP request. An L4 balancer never opens the envelope, so it has literally no way to know the difference between those two requests. Same IP, same port, same everything it can see. The rule of thumb: if your routing rule mentions any text at all, you need layer 7. What is the main advantage of an L4 load balancer? It's fast, and it works with anything. Because it doesn't pass the payload, it adds almost no latency, and it'll happily balance Postgres, Redis, a custom game protocol, whatever you throw at it. An L7 balancer has to understand your protocol to do its job. An L4 balancer's ignorance is exactly what makes it universal. Round robin sends requests to servers in turn. What is its core assumption? That your servers are identical and your requests cost the same. Both are often false. Round robin distributes the number of requests perfectly evenly, which is not the same thing as distributing load evenly at all. One request triggers a report that runs for 30 seconds, the next returns a cache string, and round robin treats them as equals. It's counting, not weighing. When does least connections clearly beat round robin? When request durations vary a lot, which is most real systems. Least connections doesn't count what it has sent, it looks at who's actually busy right now. So the server currently grinding through 3 slow uploads stops getting new work, instead of being handed its fair share regardless. It's feedback rather than a fixed rotation, and feedback wins whenever the work is uneven. What is the biggest problem with IP hash-based routing? It quietly assumes one IP means one user, and that's often badly wrong. A corporate NAT puts an entire office behind one address. A mobile carrier gateway can put a whole city behind a handful. The hash faithfully sends every one of those users to the same server, and you get a hotspot that your evenly balanced dashboard insists cannot exist. Why does consistent hashing matter when the server pool changes? Because plain hashing melts down when the pool changes. Hash modulo the number of servers, add one server, and almost every key now maps somewhere new, which means every cache is suddenly wrong at the exact moment you were scaling up because you were under load. Consistent hashing moves only about 1/n of the keys. It's the difference between a scale-up that helps and a scale-up that causes an incident. That's part 1. Part 2 picks up right where this left off. It's linked below, along with the full episode.